Tuesday morning, and I'm driving from here to the chiropractor, which should take about an hour. So maybe we'll be together, maybe we won't. Depends on how long the internet works for. I have my GPS on, so
In 1 kilometer,
turn right onto Richmond Road.
So in 1 kilometer, we're turning right onto Richmond Road. She's got it all figured out. I'm grateful. It's too bad that you can't see where I'm going. Oh well, it's really pretty here. Big old houses. This is Island Park Drive in Ottawa. Prices of things have gone up so much. 10 years ago, little tiny houses in Ottawa were now $1 million. Of course, now I'm into rush hour traffic because it's almost 7. But it said it would take me an hour and 4 minutes, and she knows where she's taking me and how long this stuff is going to be. I realized I left my wallet at home. It's in the other car. I don't have one in this car. Nothing. So I got my passport. Yay! Boys, it got some bells and whistles on it. There's this plastic clear place that's shaped like a maple leaf with hollow, they do all kinds of stuff in these. So I went to the Rapids when I was in Ottawa, and
at the next light,
Turn right.
And I made videos of the sculptures. I made some shorts and I made a video, and it's really interesting how this man does those things. They're very heavy rock. Some of them are little, but some of them are so huge. And he comes every year, and he does it every day. He puts back up ones that have fallen, and he builds new ones. It's really cool. I've been there when he's doing it, and he's
at the light,
Turn right onto Richmond Road.
they have all those chairs there now, which means that you can sit there and watch him work. They're pretty distant from the actual spot, but
go past this light.
Then at the next one, turn left.
she knows the best way to get on the highway. I got out of the car there, and humidity.
At the light,
Turn left onto Kirkwood Avenue.
Humidity just got me. I'm so grateful to have air conditioning. I grew up in Georgia and we never had air conditioning. It was always hot. But I guess it was just the way it was. So I was driving along this morning. I told you this already. I was driving along this morning, and
in 1.2
kilometers, turn right.
a pickup truck passed me, and after it got in my lane ahead of me, its brake lights turned off, and headlights
stay in the left lane.
turned on. Unbelievable. I had no idea that was even possible. I mean, it looked like somebody was passing the other guy, and I was going to have a head-on collision, right? But there's a mosquito hovering in here. Out you go. Did I get him? It's kind of neat to be driving in rush hour. It feels like you're part of something. There you go, you're out. If you open just the driver's window, just a crack, it creates a suction that will pull the mosquitoes out or any other
In In 500 meters.
Turn right.
Okay, 500 meters, I see the highway up there. And most of the traffic is going to be going into town, but of course we're near the middle of town right now, so... Well, we're in the West End, I guess. But the middle of the West End.
Go past this light.
Then at the next one, turn right.
I completely forgot how to get from there to here.
At the light, turn.
Turn right. Then keep left to merge onto Queensway.
The Queensway. You can see the picture of it. It's got a big crown on the top. The far 17. Oh, there's a fire station with all his lights on. They must be testing his lights. Doing his 15-minute check before he starts out. That was a part of driving a bus I didn't really care for, was having to check everything.
Use the left lane.
To keep left to merge onto Queensway.
The Queensway, my dear, the Queensway. I found out yesterday watching a video that you can tell Siri how to pronounce things if she doesn't pronounce them correctly. Like contact names.
For about 21.
1 kilometers. Continue straight.
So we have an appointment to change our tires. We have to get one tire off a rim.
Stay in the left 3.
Lanes.
Okay, I'm gonna go fast now. Well, not if you're gonna get in that lane too. Okay. So 7 o'clock, the sun is well and truly up, but it's very cloudy out there. So yesterday, what a great day. I got so much done. Some friends from church were going to come over. I love my church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. People help one another. We're assigned people to help and watch over. So our ministers, ministering angels, right? So we have a couple, and they helped us finish up the shady deck. And so before they came, I had to get everything ready. So I couldn't get to the trailer because the pool was in the way. And the pool, I had been trying to clean it out, and so I left the water dripping into it, and there was about 4 inches of water. That took a while to bail out. But before I did that, I have 2 cats that I thought might be in heat, so I had put them in the studio so nobody would let them out of the house by mistake, because we have a lot of people walking in and out of the doors. So I had to feed them, give them water, and then I went around the shady deck and I looked at the situation and measured up a few things. And then I went to the store and I got lumber, 2 by 8 by 12 lumber, and I already had long nails that I had to do for nailing this in, and I got hurricane ties to connect the roof to the cross beam and each rafter, and I got big long screws to attach the beam to the house properly. It wasn't a beam, it's just a board that that the rafters are sitting on. I got that all connected up, or got all the hardware to do that. And I have all these short pieces of metal that had to slip on the roof underneath the old roof, but on top of the ice and water shield without ripping it. But it was really hot yesterday to do that, so that didn't actually happen. It started to, but the metal was burning hot. From the time he put it up there until he tried to wiggle it underneath, got too hot to hold on to. Anyway, so I got all that stuff and I came back, and then all those guys are going to merge into here. We're going to go slow. I came back, I emptied the pool, and Daniel helped me I took tarps, and I put the tarps on the driveway in a level place, and then I put the pool on the tarps with help. I guess it was Daniel that helped me. And then okay, we're good. Hooked up the hot water hose and put it on into the pool so that we could have so it may not be as icy cold, but water that comes from our well is pretty cold.
In about 10 kilometers.
Take exit 145 to merge onto Highway 7 west toward Carlton Place.
So then I filled up. So the pool was filling, and I had to keep going around and straightening the legs because it has a tendency, the water. So anyway, I had to straighten the legs continually, well, every so often. But Helen and Brian came, and then they put up the board, the long board that goes out over the deck. I'll have to show it to you. They got that up there, and they nailed it in place, so now the end of that's all stable. And they put the hurricane ties, we all helped, we all got up on ladders and stuff and nailed the hurricane ties in. They realized that you had to notch the rafters all the way across, but you're only allowed an inch and a quarter notch into a 2x4 or 2x6, I guess it is. So he had to measure, and then they marked it. Helen went along and marked them all, and then Brian tried to put the roof ends up, but that didn't work. And then we all got up on ladders and on the workbench, and nailed those hurricane ties on. So, you know, when my ex-son-in-law first built it, Bo, he did such a... I asked afterwards, so we can swing now. Can I attach a swing to this? And he says, no, you better not. It's because he had barely attached it to the roof and to the house. And the rafters were not even nailed on to the... We didn't see any nails or screws where it had been attached to the beam or to the house. So this whole thing was just sitting there. Anyway, but it's not sitting there now. Now it's all screwed on tightly so we can put up swings and swing to our heart's content. Yay! Hi, Tori Ann. So Terry Ann says, hi, Nancy. I just wanted you to know that I find your voice and demeanor so soothing, and your videos have been helping me sleep for years. From a random lady in the UK. Thank you, Tori Ann. What a sweet thing to say. I'm glad you spoke up. Those are the kind of comments that I cherish. I try to keep them. I should take a photo of it. There. I took a photo of your comment. Haha. So they came and they worked, and we all worked together. We had to come in at partway. We were all hot and sweaty, and the mosquitoes were pretty bad, but they weren't as bad as they were later. But I was putting a hurricane tie on and knocked the bird nest off by mistake, and the mosquitoes that showed up after that, oh my word, they really loved that bird's nest. Birds haven't used it since, I think they built it while we were away, when we were on our service mission to the church camp. They were happy to build a nest and live there, but then we got chumbles, and then we were there and using it a lot, so they didn't. Then we had cats since last year. Other cats, all the stray cats of the neighborhood. Anyway, so they left, and Ben showed up, and we were out on the deck, and I didn't even hear him, but I thought I heard the children talking animatedly. So they were, all three grandchildren were now together again. They're the same ages. It's so cute, you know, 2 8s and a 10. So I after they left, I gave Helen soaps. I let her smell each kind, and the ones she really liked I gave to her, and then she forgot to take the package home. Oh well, I'll take them to her on Sunday. I like having soap that I can give away. It's better than giving people cookies, because you can't eat it, and it doesn't disappear, and it doesn't make you fat. I mean, it does disappear, but not like cookies do. And I think it means a lot to people too. I can't turn this so that that I'm centered in there. I'm always on the side. I can't be looking at it and driving. Oh, looks like we're getting a bit of the sprinkling. It's supposed to be really humid today and hot. It's supposed to be like 30 degrees and 37 with the humidity. I'm so grateful for air conditioning. Grateful for an air-conditioned car. Thank you, Heavenly Father. I'm so grateful. Anyway, so after they left, Ben came, and he came back up after a while. The bugs down in those tall... But I could have gone and gotten some more of that. I used some of the Raid yard spray. I sprayed it under the deck yesterday, and I think that got rid of a lot of mosquitoes. And the pool, which filled all day yesterday with, I had the hot water on until finally I switched it back to the cold water because we had no hot water in the house, and you need showers frequently in weather like that. So I put a little bleach in the water. I need to get a gauge so I know how much I'm supposed to use. What is going on in the town? Well, I had to drive my son and his wife to the train station. He works for a company in Montreal, so they had to go to Montreal. Hotels are very expensive on the weekend, like $300 a night. Or $350. I hope they decide to go and stay with. She has a friend that lives there in Montreal. We go to Montreal tomorrow. Maybe if she gives us her address, we can stop by there on the way home and hang out in a cafe with her and have a drink or something. Would that be fun? Or we can find a pretty place to go. We can take her with us in the car to some beautiful river. There's so many rivers in Montreal. Terry Ann says that there's a heat wave in the UK. I'm grateful you spoke up. I know how it is to be a quiet subscriber. But it's funny, some of these live videos, people that come in here get to know each other. They arrive and they say hi to each other, and one person was helping somebody else to germinate lavender, I think. You have to put it in the fridge for so long, and then whatever. I would like to germinate apple trees, and then use those for rootstock and graft good apples onto them. I'd like to do that. To buy an apple tree now is like $70. I planted a few of them when we first moved there, but we only have 2 that are of any value. Maybe I should really mulch them with comfrey. That really nourishes fruit trees. I think that's a good idea. So then Elida came to pick up her children at 6, and so Ben and his son and Willem had to take Abe home. So all 3 cars filled up, and I stood out there, and one after another they drove away, and my house emptied out. Daniel and Anna were still home, but it felt so odd to have everybody leaving. But I was really tired. I was ready to lie down. See, just talking about it. Of course, today I had to get up at 4:30 because they had to be at the train station by 6, and I had to leave extra time for traffic jams. You never know what you're going to get. You're just jumping around this morning. Eh? There you go. I can't make these horizontal anymore. I'm not sure why. Live videos can't be horizontal. Bummer, bummer, bummer. You had a beautiful willow tree that got taken over by a cherry tree. By a cherry blossom. Didn't know the tree could do that. Blossom's beautiful, but I do miss the willow. Interesting. I've never heard of that. Usually you'd have to graft things on. Huh. Or maybe the cherry tree grew up in the roots, amidst the roots of the willow, and it wasn't noticed until it got big enough in there that it is blooming. That's interesting. That's my assumption. Was so weird this morning driving along and being passed, and then the guy that passed me was a pickup truck. His license plate was BT21295. I called and reported him to 911. He passed me, and then he turned on these headlights. The brake lights went off, the rear lights disappeared, and these headlights were in that location, shining right at me, right in front of me. It was the weirdest thing. You know, I realized later that my bright lights had been on as he passed me and I hadn't dimmed them. But he turned them on almost as soon as he got in the lane. It was phenomenal that it could be done. But it was also extremely illegal. You can't drive with headlights facing the wrong way from the back of your car. Anyway, so I called the police and reported him. We had to get really close after a while to get the license plate number. I hope they caught him. That was a really mean thing to do. He's quite a case study. I mean, can you imagine the road rage, the anger of this person? It's not just a temporary anger, but the anger lasted long enough for him to actually have these installed, or to do it himself. I don't know if you could get them installed because I don't think any licensed mechanic would do it. I think in Canada you have to be licensed to be a mechanic. So not everybody can just change the brakes and have bad brakes. You have to be a licensed mechanic. I guess I'm going to be in time. I have 35 minutes to do a 20-minute. I think it's about 20 minutes from here to my appointment. So I felt really accomplished about yesterday. I even found the extension cord and plugged in the pump on the pool. Can we germinate something new out of woodworking? I mean the wild stuff. Yeah, it is very dangerous. I hope they caught him. I hope so. We were out in the country for a long stretch, so he would probably have been commuting to Ottawa. So I imagine he would have gone from the 7 to the 417. And if the police were aware, they would have gotten it. I've been calling in about things like chunks of metal on the road. I think that's the third call I've made lately. I don't call about everything, but I think that safe driving is really important. And hazards on the road are important to have them come and get rid of. Sorry you're having a heat wave over there. We've been having some ourselves. At least it's not a drought. You know, if it were a drought, we could have had fire. But it's not a drought. So instead we have mosquitoes. Would I rather have mosquitoes or no house? I think I'll just take the mosquitoes. I make my mosquito repellent, right? I use any kind of cream, any kind of hand cream or body lotion or anything. I add citronella essential oil and castor oil and mix it all together, and it makes a wonderful mosquito repellent, but it doesn't work once you start to sweat. I think I should time it. I think I should put it on and go outside and play my violin and see how long it takes before I can't be out there anymore. Because sometimes the heat just gets to me. Oh, and then after everybody left last night, Anna and Daniel were going to be going away in the morning, and so it was the end of them cooking for me until they get back. I love their food. Vietnamese food is stir-fried vegetables with some meat in it, and generally meat, another dish of meat. And it's so tasty. I'm going to have to try and cook like she cooks while she's gone. I'm going to practice. We've been having a lot of zucchini lately. But there was a lot of it that Willem dried the other day because we were overrun with zucchini. But she has all these greens, so many greens. She's got these, she's ordered seeds from Vietnam. So there's all these kind of plants that I've never heard of, which have really cool tastes. You know, I used to wonder, are there only, you know, the foods in the grocery store? It used to be we just had carrots and celery and onions and garlic and green onions, shallots, spinach, and green beans, eggplant, I guess, and parsnips. You know, standard, and cabbage, a few different kinds, red cabbage, and broccoli and cauliflower. Those were about the standard vegetables. And I wondered, is this what, you know, of all the plants that grow on this planet, why do we only eat two? And I asked somebody, he says, well, these are the only ones that taste good. But it's not true, because in other countries they grow different ones. I guess it depends on your climate. You know, squashes we have, and melons and things. And then we didn't used to have so much importing of food. We get a lot of our fruit from South Africa and Spain. I suppose a certain amount comes from California, but I would say most of our fruits, bananas and pineapples and oranges. But Canada, because of our cold climate, apple trees grow really well here, so there's a lot of apples. We don't have air conditioning in the UK, so I had to buy an air cooler because my Alaskan Malamute wasn't having fun, bless her. I had a dog, Chucky, who was, he was part wolf. He was a beautiful big dog. He looked like a wolf. And he was having a terrible time one year. And so I shaved him. Well, you don't do that. clipped him so low, and then he was never happy after that. So don't do that if you need to. I guess people clip poodles. I don't have my water bottles in here. I covered another one with cedar bark the other day. I remember the other day there were some cedar poles in the stuff we got rid of, and so Daniel took them and I stripped them afterwards. They sat there for a while, and I stripped them and took out the inner bark. I did that while I was watching my granddaughter on the trampoline. And every time she would go on the trampoline, I'd start peeling cedar bark, and then she'd go inside, I'd go inside. It was hot out, you know. And I got enough of them done, so when we went camping last weekend, I was able to... I took an empty bottle, a cherry juice bottle, and cut my little strips long enough to go down one side and up the other, you know. And I laid them all out, and I held them on, and I did littler strips to go around. Just go around once, go around once. You have to end them at different places. And so now I have another bottle. It's beautiful. This is my 5th bottle. I did one with rushes, but rushes are really not a lasting material. You know, you have to go way out in the lake to get them, and I haven't done that this year. I should take my underwater camera and go out there and in the water, swim out to the center of the lake, cut rushes. They all float, so you just lay on them, and they call it a boat. Grafting is an interesting tree with good apples, and grafted onto a wild apple stock. In fact, any kind of an apple tree, the wild apples are usually not what you want. But if you've got a variety you want, you take some of that and you put it on your tree and you graft it on, it will grow, and then you can cut back the wild stuff as that one takes over. I remember the first year we moved here, back in '96, I went over to Frank's. You remember Frank? Frank is quite the character. I went over there, and he was grafting onto his trees. I tried grafting one year, and later on I realized I tried grafting. I guess we're going through a bit of a dead zone, so you might have the circle going around from time to time. But it doesn't show up that way in the video when the video is posted, does it? It just skips those times. A sumac tree, and if you cut it down, it will pop new ones up. So the only way to really kill it is to use some chemical. I suppose it's possible to do it another way, but I didn't want to take the chance of it ruining our septic. So I covered everything around it, the grass and all the flowers, everything that was around it and under it, and I sprayed it with Roundup. And within the same afternoon, like I did it in the morning when it got hot, and then a few hours later, the edges of the leaves had begun to turn brown. So now a whole bunch of it has turned brown, or starting to die, but the very tops are still abundantly green. So I'll have to get a ladder out and pour everything again and do the very tops. Can't have them growing. We're making good time. I'm going to be there in time. I wasn't sure. Like I dropped them off at 5:30 and my appointment was at 8, about an hour away. So I went to Remick Rapids where I could sit by the river. I wanted to have a prayer by the river, and I happened to find Remick Rapids was the exit beside me, so I got to see all those balanced rocks. I did videos on those years ago. They are somewhere in my videos. If you look up Nancy Today Remick Rapids, you'll probably find them. REMIC Rapids. There's a family in Maine that I called the Brady Bunch, and I remember the way the family found me. The girl, one of the daughters, used my videos to fall asleep. Thought that was pretty cool. Makes me go on just thinking of falling asleep. I was really pleased that I had so much energy yesterday that I was able to nail in those hurricane ties from the rafters to the house, or the beam on the house. I was pretty pleased. That was pretty cool. I feel so much more secure with it fixed the way it is. All these parts that could have twisted, and the whole thing wasn't supported nearly well enough. But it's almost good enough. So we'll get the building inspector back to inspect it after we get that last beam on. We have two 2x8 by 12s on. We have to put a third on. And then nail them all together so they won't twist. Maybe bolt them together would be good as well. My tires are making that whirring sound. There's a lot of tread there. They are snow tires. Because we have so much snow. But in the summertime, you don't need snow tires. But it costs a lot to have them all switched. And I didn't feel like doing it myself. I used to do that. I've done it before. I'm feeling very sleepy now. I can't believe the growth on my trees. You know all those little trees I started on the hill? The wildflower hill overlooking the driveway? And then in the center of the driveway, I have a whole bunch of small trees that have taken, and now they're over my head. And this year, the new growth is about 18 inches so far. Every year, fir trees put out, or spruce trees anyway, put out a new little, like a star of tires, isn't it? The tread is wearing off the center of my front tires. Monday it gets replaced. So one more trip to Montreal with these tires. I could put on one tire. Actually, I could replace 2 tires. But one is more worn than the other. And it's better to have tires that are the same. Okay, you gotta go now, Terry Ann. I have to go now, but it'd be lovely to see you on live again. I'd love to talk to you about prayer. I hope you get to your destination safe and well. Thank you. I love praying. I love prayer. Prayer changes everything. You're in an empty room that feels empty. If you pray in the name of Jesus Christ, the Spirit suddenly is in the room with you. Such a wonderful trick. Look, we have a traffic jam. Yes, indeed, have a traffic jam. There's an old barn. Let me show you this old barn. Look at that. With that funny thing on top. We have a stop and go man up here. I usually try and thank them because they do such a good job for us. We have wonderful roads, and these guys have to endure a lot. Standing out there in the blazing sun and bugs and black fly season and then mosquito season. I hope everybody has a wonderful day today. I hope you stay cool enough and warm enough. I hope everybody is safe. I hope we could follow the promptings of the Holy Spirit. Do you know how you hear the Spirit? Hey, we only have 1 thumb up this whole video. Oh well. Sometimes it's hard to make a thumbs up if you're watching it on a smart TV. But you just click up and it goes to the main title. And then you go over and it goes to the channel and then over again. And one of those has a thumb up and you just click on that. If you click on the channel thing will open on the side. The video will keep going. And you can click the subscribe, unsubscribe. But we don't tell people to unsubscribe. You know, I've had about 16,000 subscribers for probably 5 years. What's with that? Why is it not going up? It goes up and it goes down. I guess because all my videos are not the same type. Some people want to watch soap making videos, and then when I stop making soap, then they don't watch my videos, and so some people might unsubscribe if they get too many video notifications. Okay, we're moving. And tomorrow's the 1st of August, and the corn is in tassel. If the corn is not in tassel by the 1st of August, you don't get as good a crop. So 23 outside. It's not very hot, but it's pretty humid. I'm liking the dry today. I don't think I have any energy drinks in here. Oh, yes, I do. I could have a sip to wake me up. I don't drink coffee or tea. But usually I'll mix this in a bottle of water and then sip on it. got too much caffeine in it. So I would never drink it all. Thank you. That brightened him up. He smiled. Do good. That's another cow field. That person would have manure. So they might be willing to sell you manure. I have a wonderful farmer that sells me manure. He really feels like he's giving it to me, but I give him $20 so that I can come and ask for it again. He's really nice. It's fun. Farmers are a wonderful type of people. Their focus is on the weather and the crops and the animals. It's a different lifestyle. I used to be a farm wife. I'm going to the chiropractor. That's my destination. I have an 8 o'clock appointment. And I'm going to be there on time, I think. I have 12 minutes. Back's been hurting ever since I ate that bread. Ben made wonderful bread and I ate it. I immediately bloated up, big belly, and felt sluggish. And my back started to hurt. And my back has hurt ever since. So I'm going to go to the chiropractor, which will fix it, and then my back will be fine. I need to water the plants in Daniel's greenhouse this week while he's gone. I really enjoy making these videos, even if you're not there. Like, there's only one person there and one thumbs up, but even so, it makes me feel good to know that somebody is there, even if you're not. I think I'll turn here. It was good to go to Remake Rapids and park there and walk to the water, because you get kind of stiff sitting in the car for a while. You know what happened the other day? I had a Reese's cup. Ding, 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 ding. And I hadn't had any sugar for months, but I had this. But by the time I got out of the car, my knees hurt. My knees are fine again, because I haven't had any since. But it was really interesting to see the immediate reaction. The same thing with dairy. If I eat any milk products, especially milk, it will make my hands hurt, and it'll be a roaming pain. It'll be in this hand for a while, it'll be so painful, and then all of a sudden this hand's fine and the other hand hurts. Strangest reactions. I'm glad I found that out years ago. I used to get earaches a lot, but my mother was determined that we were going to have our 3 glasses of milk a day. Finally, when I was in about 3rd grade or so, I got tubes in my ears, or maybe I was in 4th grade. They drained it all out. Look at this. I have 7 minutes. And I'm almost here. I love having my handicap sticker, because you can park in the handicap places. And you can park where there's no parking places too. It says no parking, but you can park there if you've got a handicap sticker, at least in Ontario. So we did it. We're here in time. So I have to go in here, and then after I'm out of here, I pick up the children. Perfect. And if I'm out of here soon enough, I can do something else. Like, forget there was something I needed at the store. Some random thing. But I don't remember. And I don't have my wallet anyway. Okay, so we're going in. I didn't get time to say goodbye. My phone rang. Bye. You can do this at home. Results may differ. And don't forget to thumbs up and like and subscribe. And comment. Where'd it go? There it is.